This is the Newsload.
Hi, I'm Carrie Anne Stevenson, and I'm here with Newsload, and I'm here speaking today to the very fabulous Patrick McKenna. Hello, Patrick. How are you today?
I'm so very well. Thank you. You too, eh?
Yes, I'm wonderful. Thank you. You
Good.
look great.
Oh, thank you. Thanks. I've been outside working, so I have the Irish complexion in full bloom.
That's wonderful. So, where were you born?
Well, from my mother, but in Hamilton, though, was the city. Yeah. So I grew up there. I stayed there till I was 18, and then my wife and I, my girlfriend at the time, we moved to Toronto, and then we got married and carried on.
18. Wow, that's young love.
Yeah, we just celebrated our 40th wedding anniversary last week.
40 years. What is your secret?
She has to marry someone like me. If you can find someone like me, I think you got a good start.
That's the secret. Just find your doppelganger.
Basically, she's not in the room, so I can say things like that. It's great. No, I think the secret is communication. I mean, you know, and you're in the same world where you're just kind of a lively, entertaining person all the time, and that sort of keeps a conversation going all the time. And if you have someone to play with for 40 years, it's fantastic.
40 years. That's so magical. And that's so rare in this industry.
Oddly enough, that seems to be what people were responding with more than anything. Is like, really good for you, man. But it's for us, it's been kind of easy. We've been really enjoying it.
That's so nice to hear. And do you have children?
We have one. He's 38 now. You know, it's so weird having an adult in the house. You have to respect his opinion. You know, that's one thing that changes. It's just so weird. There's this man in the house now when he comes to visit. Very bizarre.
And is he married with children as well?
No, he just retired from the military. So he's out in BC right now doing jumping from planes and climbing mountains, and he's everything I pretend to be. He's that guy. So remember the Flintstones? They always yell "stand in." Yeah. He's my stand-in.
So he's a little bit of an action junkie too, eh?
Oh yeah, very much. Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. Did you have any brothers or sisters growing up?
Yeah, I had 3 brothers. One passed away, but I was just playing out last night with my other 2 brothers. And it's fun being old and looking back at different things and listening to other perspectives. Like, you were there and you saw the same thing, but you saw it that way. You're so wrong. You're so wrong.
The memories and the reminiscing, and boys, oh my gosh, you must have eaten your house and home.
Oh yeah, we just it was basically like putting puppies into a pen all day long. We just rustled and tumbled and pulled and tweaked and yelled and squealed. It was just, I don't know how my mother did it. She, you know, when you look back on things, you go, "Oh, I'm so sorry, Mom. So sorry." Mother's Day takes on a whole new meaning when you have kids yourself. You go, "Oh, I was terrible." It was terrible.
And where are you on the scale of brothers? I'm
second. So okay. I'm the demanding. I'm Marsha, Jan.
Ditto. I'm the attention-seeking middle. So, you know, it must be
most of us are. We seem to be the babies or the middle. I don't know. It's funny.
Yeah. It's probably part of the situation. So, your mom, was she a stay-at-home mom?
Yeah. It was all during the 60s. So, stay-at-home mom, and Dad was in construction, and the 4 boys, because my youngest one he came much later. He's, you know, the Irish smile. And so it was very, just a regular go play in the park after supper. And, you know, I look back on it, it's like, oh man, that's when they describe privileged life. It's like, oh yeah, I had one of those. It was like Leave It to Beaver time. It was exceptional youth, exceptional.
And was Hamilton a little bit nicer in the 60s and 70s and 80s? No.
It was probably worse, particularly in the 70s and 80s. It really took, once the Stelco's and all those started closing up, there was just, you know, there's so much homelessness started and empty homes, and downtown was vacant and they couldn't afford rents anymore. The town just really took a hard punch and didn't know how to kind of recover from it. So I don't know if it really ever has, or, you know, if it was even that steady to begin with. But the exodus of Toronto to Hamilton, I think, is really going to enlighten the town. Now they have, the pub festivals and things that go on, the art crawls. So Hamilton's evolving, and they seem willing to do it, which is great.
Yeah, yeah, it's good to actually have the transition of, it being kind of crummy to getting better and growing.
It's becoming like Brooklyn to New York. It's the cool place to live, and because the arts are so available and homes are still available to a lot of Toronto people and so on. To Hamilton, really going, these prices are insane. And Toronto, they're going, they're insane. Yeah, the good way. Whatever.
So did you, in your, all your experience on television and such, did you meet any celebrities that you were just starstruck?
Yeah, a couple of times, but mostly I was Kelsey Grammer. I was doing a film with Kelsey Grammer, and he's a very intimidating, serious man when he wants to be. And he thought it was hilarious to be like that with me. And I was always intimidated by him. And so making him laugh or anything like that was exceptional. It was just great to do things like that. So we became very good friends by the end of the film, but it was definitely a crawl.
That's amazing. I've heard beautiful things about Kelsey Grammer.
Yeah, he can be just the most marvelous poetic man. And that side of him is just wonderful to be able to experience and just be around. It was especially as a young actor, it was fantastic.
Phenomenal. Do you have any crazy fans of possibly the Red Green Show or something that has shocked you?
When I was doing the Red Green Show, it was odd. A lot of the things that people would mail in. I got a lot of female underwear, which was interesting. Various sizes, was even more interesting. That was sort of the novelty, really, is let's see the size. How Walmart can we get on this? It was that was a lot of fun. That would be kind of interesting to see. But a lot of people identified with that character on a very strange level. It was interesting to experience that too, to personify something that people reacted to in a very different way. When they talk about art and people react to it, it was like that was sort of my experience of, I'm kind of not in charge of this. People are reacting to what they need from this character. And I realize I do the same thing. What I like about characters, when they resonate with me, it's because, that felt good for me. And that was a real learning curve of how I can introduce my characters to people.
I can imagine the fan base being just so interesting, and the show going for so long.
Yeah, it was 15 years. And it was interesting because it was always skewed as a man's show. And all the men were like, they were big fans of Red Green. And it was a lot of the women were more fans of Harold, because Harold was sort of at that time, the female persona in that relationship, say the wife persona more than the female, I guess, whatever that may be these days anyway. That persona where you got to support, you don't always agree with, but you got to support and be there. And that was a real fun relationship to explore, and how people reacted to it, because a lot of women reacted with Harold, like, right, living with someone like that, right? Yeah.
Do you have a favorite story from your Red Green time? Something?
There were just so many. It's different when you're on set versus trying to tell somebody something. But when we were shooting the movie, I think, and we were doing a sequence and I'd hurt my back earlier in the day. So everybody was really worried about how Pat's back is. How is Pat's back? But we weren't watching Steve. And there's a part where he goes to, I don't know if you're familiar with the movie, but there's a part where he has a big knife and he goes to cut open this duct tape duck. And he went to stab it, but he hit himself in the hand on film. And the knife pretty much went right through his hand. But because we're filming, he didn't say a thing. He just pulled it out. And then it was like, and we carried on and then, how's Pat's back? How's Pat's back? Not realizing Steve had just severed his hand with this, 4-inch knife going through his hand. Raced him off to the hospital. Miracles. He didn't touch one nerve, nothing. His hand was absolutely fine. Like if it had to go through somewhere, it just went clean through.
That's amazing.
The man has a horseshoe. I'm telling you.
Wow.
That was probably the weirdest one, where it went on for so long. We did things like Steve didn't keep any bloopers. He didn't want to have any bloopers, but we had nights where we couldn't stop laughing for like 11 to 12 minutes. We couldn't record anything because we couldn't stop laughing, things like that. Just the excitement, I think, was the thing every week, because it was a house party and like 300 people would show up and it would just have fun in front of them.
Amazing, amazing. Well, we are asking a lot of gentlemen about their health, and for science reasons, we're curious about what kind of underwear do you wear?
Oh, I guess I suppose they call them, I don't know, like bicycle boxers or something. They're boxers, but I don't know. They're boxers, I guess, is probably the best way to say it.
Boxer briefs kind of thing, like the shorts?
Yeah.
Fabulous.
Yeah.
Fabulous.
They're not the Stanley Whitey tighties. There's only two kinds, either boxers or tighty whities, and it's not those.
And is there a special brand?
No, not necessarily, because, I as long as it's 100% cotton, I'm 100% there. And whoever does that, I'll support.
Fabulous.
Or they'll support me, really, I guess is what it comes down to.
Amazing. There has been a lot of cancel culture and some comedy that seems to be offending people. Have you experienced any cancel culture issues?
A little bit, because I work with an improv group, and it's interesting how we've tailored our show with that more in mind. Because of it, we haven't had any issues, but we're very aware of it to make sure with pronouns we use, and we don't make a big deal out of it. We just use them, and people seem to accept it and roll with the evening. And there's been no pushback on anything. There's been a few times where I'm on stage and one of us may say something in a spur of a moment that you kind of go, oh, we're going to get some oohs and ahs on that. But you hear that maybe they just end up laughing because they know that was the most inappropriate thing you probably could have said. So, and that becomes the Homer Simpson moment of, the things you shouldn't say. But so we haven't had any pushback yet, but we're so very aware of it, because, the group is three men my age. So three white guys that are three old white men doing shows. It's a pretty tough sell these days. And the things we say and do and think, we're kind of that representation of what everybody's kind of pushing against. So we kind of play into that. It's okay to hate us. We're going to have fun with that. We're those guys, sorry. And we're seeing where it goes, because it's a new world. How do you talk to this audience? Everybody's just coming back from COVID. They're more sensitive. They've had their opinions validated online for 3 years that, yeah, they're right. And if you say something against it, the world's fussy, very fussy.
Mm-hmm. And also being able to be respectful to their needs, but also aware of funny is funny.
Yeah. But the challenge becomes, and I think the art is, how do you communicate that? Because that's any joke. I have no problem with any joke. It's how you communicate it. And that's what either makes it offensive or not. So that's where the choice comes. If somebody just comes out and they fart into a microphone, it's like, yeah, the room will laugh, but 8 shows a week, it's not going to happen. If you can be somehow creative with that same idea of shocking the audience, is whatever you want to do, that becomes the talent. And that's when you see the really good comics of, that's such a tasteless joke done in such a good way.
It's amazing. It's amazing. Now, do you prefer improv to scripted sitcoms?
It depends on the script, and who you're working with, because I love to improvise. So when I get a script, I like to maybe dance around a little bit. And if they're really tight with the lines, then I have to be, well, how do I find the personality to color these lines? Otherwise, it's just kind of flat. Mm-hmm. And so it's a lot of work sometimes, and a lot of finessing, because you're working with a large group, and your choice has a ripple effect to the story, to other players, and so on. Mm-hmm. So you can't be too selfish with that moment. Whereas in improv, it's like, no, I'm in it right now, and this is the choice I'm making, and boom. If we don't like it, we'll find something else and move on to that. So overall, I probably enjoy it, but I love working in film and television. I just love it. I love the sets. I love the people. It's just a great gypsy world to be dropped into.
Absolutely. And the surrealness of like, wow, people constructed this whole set,
Yeah.
to look like this. I was on Dragon's Den, and it's so interesting to see the behind the scenes CBC building and then the set,
And it's times it's very much like community theater. The sets are very same, that 1x3 board and plywood, and it's the very same stuff. Rick
Mhm.
Mercer's set was like that, and all the sets behind the camera are just hilarious how simple they are.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's the world you create in front of it that's the. I mean, those set designers are amazing. If you ever have an opportunity and you're down in Toronto area, they do tours of the Murdoch, where they shoot Murdoch Mysteries. Oh man, that set will blow you away. Just how the set construction of the detail is beautiful, beautiful.
Wonderful. I absolutely will make an effort to go check that out. Is there anything that you want us to know about what you're involved in, what we should be checking out?
Yeah, I mean, let's see. I'm going to get a couple new shows with Ron James, and I are doing. Well, it's mostly Ron, to be honest, and I play his agent in it, and it's called One Man's Treasure, and that's on Vibe TV, Vibe, and Pink is In, where I play a Russian commandant who's come over to work in a prison in Hamilton. That is silly, crazy fun. That's wild, that one, and I'm going up to Sault Ste. Marie on Tuesday to do a film for a month, Magnetosphere. Magnetosphere it's called. And that's going to take me up there in the sunniest time of the year. So it's going to be great.
Magnetosphere, what's that going to be about?
It's about there's a type of optical illusion that people have within their mind, that they see colors when around people, basically like an aura to a degree. And it's about a young girl who has this, and I play her father. And Colin Mockery plays the workman around the house, and his wife, Deb McGrath, is her teacher. And so there's all these type of things. It was like, yeah, I'd go out in North for a couple of weeks and play with Colin. Okay, this will be fun.
Oh, yeah. And
Yeah.
you're so fun with improv. I'm sure behind the scenes, you guys can, whose line is it anyway? Goof off.
Well, it's nice because once the writer heard that I'd signed on, she went back and wrote a whole bunch of scenes for Colin and I to interact in. So that was like, okay, this is, and basically it's a blank page. It's just, Colin enters, Pat says, wait. That's like away we go.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Make sure you send me the link and the information when that's out. I'm really.
Oh, absolutely. I think we're in playback this week, actually. If you have any attachment to Playback magazine, I think it's online even. Playback online.
Okay.
They've done a great article on it.
Amazing.
So that's what's kind of going on in my summer. Anyway, that'll take me up till September.
Yeah. Wow. I'm so glad you're still busy and you look amazing. Yeah. Your hair is full and lush and fabulous.
Oh, thank you. I have to diet for the film, but that's another thing.
Yeah. Yeah. We have to change our characters and our looks, and it's wonderful to be able to have that sort of transition.
Yeah.
Cool. Well,
thanks for taking the time, Carrie Anne. I really appreciate it.
For sure. And thank you so much. I've been a fan for decades. I think that you're incredible, and I really appreciate the time. And one last thing, if you don't mind, if you can say it loud, say it proud. I love Newsload.
I love Newsload.
Thank you, Patrick. And I hope you have the most amazing day.
Thanks. Take care now.
You too. Bye-bye.
This is the Newsload.